the Seattle Seahawks hosting the Los Angeles Rams.
Sam Darnold, the last time he faced the Rams, he was seeing ghosts.
Look, fired backside, wide open, reaching up, touchdown! Seahawks! Pull that one out of your bag of tricks. The Seahawks with a chance to win it here on a two-point conversion.
Firing over the middle, and it's caught! The monkey, I think, is off Sam Darnold's back when it comes to these Los Angeles Rams.
We are in the playoffs. We are in the game.
Our story has stayed the same since day one with Sam. You know, everybody else has different stories.
Hey, here we go, fellas. Love y'all boys. Hawks on three. 1, 2, 3.
It is time to feel good with Geico. Sam Darnold's feeling pretty good right about now, as are the Seahawks. They are now in the driver's seat for the 1 seed in the NFC. All they've got to do, win the final 2 games. But keep in mind, if they do slip, the 49ers are right on their heels. We'll get to the 49ers in a second. Let's start with the Seattle Seahawks and Sam Darnold winning that huge game against the Rams. Guys, there was the narrative, he can't get it done at the end. We saw what happened with the Vikings last season. Did that game for you at all change your mind?
Well, listen, it's a complicated question because I think he made some plays prior to the very end that said, okay, this is the same old that we're used to seeing. That interception late in the fourth quarter where they're down driving in the red zone and you look at it and you're like, oh, man, this is it. But then he comes back, and some of the throws that he made, the scramble to the right, the throw on the sideline, you know, the toe tap, and then another crosser to Cooper Kupp. I mean, those were big time throws. And so I think it does change the narrative because, you know, you've got to do it. We were talking about that in sort of the first segment, that with the Chicago Bears, you need that result to validate all of the hard work that you're doing. And I think you see some of that, and you see some of that reaction from Sam Darnold. So I think it changed the narrative within that group, right? It changes the belief structure of that group to make the plays when you need to make them at the end of games. He's talented. There's no question about it. Clean up the turnovers. I know Mike McDonald is going to be all over that. Clean up the turnovers. But those throws at the end of the game, the ability to move, his movement, I think this team is very, very good.
Yeah, the team is very good. Special teams shows up. Defense shows up when they need to show up.
Physical.
They're physical. They have an identity. You know down the red zone what you're going to get. You know on third down what you're going to get with this team defensively. And when you watch them and you look at Mike McDaniel, you see that fire and that passion in this group. And it almost reminds me a little bit of the Seattle Seahawks with Pete Carroll.
Yeah.
And it's like they just have this certain swag and belief about them when they walk in, like, we're the bullies. We're going to punch you and swing first and see how you respond. And now the quarterback is taking on that. Even the emotions after the game.
Yeah.
When he threw that touchdown, I was like, wow, that's Sam Darnold? That shocked me just to see that out of him because he's a West Coast guy.
There's a release, though, of all of that pent-up frustration.
I agree. I think that's what it is.
You know what? I'm gonna make a baseball analogy because I was a baseball player. I was a pitcher. I threw really hard. Some days, the bats couldn't find the ball. Like, those guys couldn't hit it. Some days, every single bat found the ball, and they would go out of the stadium. Now, as a good pitcher, you got to be able to forget those home runs, move on, and understand the strikeouts are going to come in your way. And I feel like that's where we're at with Sam Darnold. You talked about some of those balls he'd like to have back, decisions he'd like to have back. But the good thing is he struck out the side when it mattered.
Yep.
And at the very end, scored a touchdown, hit the 2-point conversion, got the dub. So, I mean, they're counting on Sam Darnold to do good things. I'm not saying he's not going to do things, but to your point, this Seattle Seahawks team, I mean, it's Dickies on getting off the bus. All business. Black Air Force One type, you know what. That's what the Seahawks are about. They're playing bully ball, and I like watching this group play a lot.
I go back to the trading deadline, and much of the conversation was about other players. Rashid Shaheed has been an absolute X factor for the Seattle Seahawks since he got traded there. And you talk about game-changing plays on special teams. He has been that guy multiple different times. Another threat on the outside opposite Jackson Smith and Jigba to take the top off, opening things up for a Cooper Kupp, for a JSN. He's been a huge piece of their kind of run here in the last 4 or 5 weeks.
The team that is lurking right now, surprise, the 49ers.
Wow.
They could potentially still get the 1 seed. So what they need to do is they've got to win out, and then the Seahawks have to stumble. And by the way, these two teams are meeting in the final week of the regular season. Guys, how are we feeling about the 49ers right now?
That boy right there still suiting up, Christian McCaffrey. That guy right there, Brock Purdy, who's been to the dance a number of times, been to the top of the hill. I trust that group. And I know that they're without a couple All-Pros, future Hall of Famer types, but they got dudes on that team. And I believe in Kyle Shanahan. Matt can speak to it. But the way Brock Purdy plays is a confident brand of football. This Niners team is for real scary. And the Robert Saleh effect, cannot say it, you can't talk enough about Robert Saleh and the way that he's been able to glue this defense together and keep them coming out every single week.
And I was gonna say, especially with all the injuries they've had, right? Brandon Ayuk out, or Fred Warner, you lose Kittles a little bit, you lose Christian McCaffrey, you lose Brock Purdy, all these pieces around, and they just keep plugging away. Here comes Mac Jones, he comes in, he fills in, and that's just a credit that from the GM and the head coach that they're connected.
Yep.
Because they got guys, they can just plug and play, man. And yeah, again, there's always a talent level difference between A and B. But when the system and everything works together and guys play collectively, that's the results you're seeing. Even when the different running backs come in the game, you're like, okay, Christian's dynamic, but bring the next guy, and he's pounding away. And when you talk about in a couple weeks, when you say the Niners and Seattle going to play each other, fisticuffs.
Yes.
Because this is going to be a bloodbath.
Yep.
I think,
Hire extra security.
Yeah, I think a couple of weeks ago, Kyle Shanahan was asked in a presser if this is the most proud he's been of a team, through his span in San Francisco. And he said, no, listen, I was proud of, and he went through all of these teams that he has coached. I was sitting there watching it going, this is his best coaching job of the San Francisco 49ers, of any team, given all of the things that they've had to overcome. And I think it speaks to his growth and development, not only as a play caller. He has always been an outstanding play caller, an outstanding guy when it comes to scheming and putting together a game plan and taking advantage of a defense. He is now a complete coach. He understands all 3 phases. He understands, like you said, that relationship with John Lynch to be able to balance this roster. I think they were looking at this team, and a lot of people from the outside of saying, this is a rebuild. This is kind of a regrouping of this organization, and maybe we're not there to make this push. No. This guy can coach, and I think this is the best coaching job that he's done in San Francisco.
As I said, we don't know if the 49ers will get the 1 seed. There is a chance. Also, guys, keep in mind, the Super Bowl is in Santa Clara. There is a chance they may not have to leave home.
They might not get an airplane until week 1 next year. You know what I mean? It's kind of wild.
That's a good life.
Well, they got to fly back home after this is the last one, right?
Matt's getting into the details here. Details don't matter.
I get your point. I get your point. I get where you're going.
The NFC West is going to be very, very interesting. The NFC, as we has mentioned, is absolutely wide open. Okay, we're going to get into the holiday spirit as if these beautiful sweaters and sweatshirts are not enough. We have questions from Girl Scout Troop 2276. Again, the first one is from Mila.
Hi, my name is Mila. What position would Santa be good at in football?
Mila, I like to answer that one. Santa's nice, big, and round, right? Most of them. I would like to put him at, how about guard?
Yeah.
Guard.
He got the beard, he's kind of got the look, he's got the clothes, doesn't really worry about it. The stance kind of looks very similar to Kyle.
Yeah.
So I'll go with guard.
Guard. I like center.
Center.
He knows everything.
Yeah.
He knows. He's
got reindeer.
You when you're
He
sleeping.
sees
He knows
everything.
I like it.
Yeah,
I
he
like
knows
it.
all of that stuff. That center has to know it. I think Santa would be a good
It's a
center.
great question.
I know
Mila.
it's not a position, but I think he would be a great coach. He reminds
You're
me
right.
of Andy Reid.
That's absolutely
Big
right.
Red.
Big red.
All right, here's the next question.
Hi, my name is Jordan. What is your favorite gift you ever got or gave to a teammate?
How about quarterbacks? Quarterbacks usually take care of the offensive line,
They're
take care of those guys. What was the best gift you received?
Yeah, so probably the coolest gift I ever got was a really, really, really nice watch from a quarterback named Patrick Mahomes. And I thought that it was only for me, and then I realized that Patrick Mahomes was doing well enough that he could get everybody a really nice watch. Patrick Mahomes, Santa Claus. That was my favorite gift.
So we had a group, and I don't know if this. I thought it was the coolest gift we got them, but our group for the offensive line was big into barbecue, right? And all of these guys were different cooks, and I got them these massive extra large green eggs
yeah.
and all of the equipment that goes with them. And I think that was one of the most well-received gifts.
Absolutely.
I don't know if it's
you ever
a
cooked
favorite.
with a green egg?
Yeah, no, I don't know about a
Or
favorite
just
one.
maybe one that you know of.
No. When I was in Washington, we had a lot of West Coast guys on our team. I had never shoveled snow. So I got a really nice shovel. It wasn't my favorite, but I needed a shovel. Because, real quick story before we go next one. I was out there when it snowed. I had a broom.
Yeah, that's not good.
And all my neighbors looking at me like, you need to borrow a shovel? So I went to work and told my teammates about the story. Then for Christmas, I got a shovel. So
Not a
That's
snowblower,
thoughtful.
though?
no, the guys were being cheap. I had all them vets on my team. They gave me a shovel. They still want me a rookie. I was still doing
Some guy once told me when you retire, put a snow shovel on the top of your car, drive south until somebody asks what it is, then you found the right spot. So
Okay.
yeah,
Great.
A lot of wisdom. We do want to let you guys
It's so good.
around the leagues spread some holiday cheer to families in need of additional support throughout the holiday season. These annual traditions reflect on the dedication the NFL has to create meaningful holiday memories to the communities they serve.
okay, Josh. You
I
ready?
couldn't tell which one he was at first. 'Cause
He's in there.
down. He's listening to the two. What do you think Josh Allen with the two?
Christmas carols, man. It's that week. He's
Not his wife's music?
I think he listens to Harry Styles.
What'd you say?
Harry Styles.
Harry Styles? All right, maybe. We'll ask him if you ever talk to him. Speaking of the Chiefs, are they done for the season? Yes, they're not going to the playoffs. So the question is, what on earth is next